What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So it's been a minute since we've received an update on this Carrie TV series that's supposed to be coming to us at some point. And if I remember correctly, it is supposed to be coming through Amazon Prime, but I'm sure this article will have that detailed to, keep me honest that it is in fact going to come to us via Amazon Prime. Now, Mike Flanagan is tied to this, supposed to be leading the direction on this new TV series, or this new attempt, I should say, at the Carrie franchise. Now, we haven't heard anything on this since January 4th, January 5th was the last time I could find that I did any update, any video on this particular franchise, this particular TV series that's supposed to be coming out. Since then, we've received nothing, no casting, no updates on the story, what the approach will be, literally nothing. It's been completely silent. It's, nothing has come through up until late yesterday. So as you see here from the headline, a curse of Chucky star is eyeing her next horror project as Carrie. Now, for those of you who don't know, if you're not as familiar with the Carrie franchise, there's actually a lot has been done and attempted with this franchise than I think most people know. Many people just know about the original film and then the attempted reboot that was done. Now it's been 12 years since the reboot was attempted, which wasn't well received by critics or fans. And as you know, I don't read too much into what critics say, but the fan response to it, even within the general fan base, and even those of the hardcores of us within the horror genre, didn't necessarily care for it as either. For me personally, I thought it was okay. It was pretty mid, wasn't great. I think it's hard when we keep trying to go back to the well, as you've heard me say time and time again, when you're trying to reboot these franchises or these original films from the 70s or 80s, and even going back even further, like Night of the Living Dead, that's been attempted as well. But with Carrie, we had, if you don't know, quickly before we get into the article details, you had the original film from 1976, which is one of those iconic films. Then you had many years later, The Rage Carrie 2, which came in 1999. So there was a long stretch before a sequel came from this. Then you had the TV movie called Carrie in 2002, and from that particular TV film, there was an attempt going to be made by NBC to do a television series at the time. And while this, if I remember correctly, the series was already in development, the TV series, but they eventually decided to just cancel it completely outright based on the response and the low ratings of the TV film that was released in 2002, that same year. So then you had that, and then from a film perspective, still you had the reboot remake in 2013. Now, in addition to the television aspect, there was an episode of Riverdale, A Night to Remember, that was done, I want to say early 2018. I don't remember exactly when, but I know it was early 2018, where the episode was based off Carrie the musical. And yes, there has been a musical. There's actually been a couple. There was the original musical that was done in 1988, I believe. I think it was 88 or 89. I believe it was 1988, though. And then you had another one called Scary the musical, which was 10 years later. They did it in 98. Again, if 88 is still the correct date for the first one, then it'd be 10 years later. I know it was a 10-year gap. And then there was another musical. It was an unauthorized musical parody called based on Carrie 2, The Rage. So those are all, that's the full gambit when it comes to Carrie, whether it's been television, film, musicals. Of course, there's been multiple audios as far as the soundtracks go, but that's par for the course with many other films. So and then, of course, we have the publication, the novel Carrie from 1974, which is Stephen King's work, if you didn't know. So now here we are. We have the TV series that's supposed to be, this new series that's supposed to be attempted with Mike Flanagan leading the way. So let's get into these article details here and see what new information we might have. So since he bid a grandiose farewell to his overall deal with Netflix via the 2023 miniseries, The Fall of the House of Usher, those of us who proudly call ourselves Flana fans have been eager to see the next series that Mike Flanagan has up his sleeves. The director and writer previously signed on with Amazon to back numerous projects for Prime Video. So, okay, it is coming to Amazon Prime. And now it seems that one of the biggest puzzle pieces is falling into place today. Variety revealed that Curse of Chucky alum Summer Howell is nearing the end of discussions to play the role of Carrie in Flanagan's series adaptation of the beloved Stephen King novel. Horror fans might recognize Howell from her work in Don Mancini's 2013 feature Curse of Chucky, in which she played a young girl who finds herself drawn to the killer doll. Her character would later meet a gruesome and terrifying fate in that film's follow-up, Cult of Chucky. Essentially, so side note, I haven't seen either one of those films. I have never been a fan of Chucky, of Child's Play. Those, I remember seeing those when the original ones when I was a kid, and never cared for them. They were very much a one and done. As I've gotten older, I've tried to go back and revisit them again. And it's just one of those horror franchises that I've never been drawn to. I've never enjoyed. So, and for these two particular films, I don't know her body of work in these two films. So just to, side note on that, I don't have much of an opinion on her work as her performance in those two films. Essentially, Howell has already cut her teeth in the genre and promises to deliver a killer performance in Flanagan's Carrie adaptation. The performer's other credits include Time Cut, Spirit in the Blood, and All Fun and Games, with upcoming appearances set in Night of the Reaper and Normal. As for Flanagan, Carrie marks his latest team up with the legendary horror author, as the pair have previously worked alongside one another on the feature-length adaptations of such favorites as Gerald's Game and Dr. Sleep, which I know Dr. Sleep wasn't... I think we had a lot of expectations for Dr. Sleep. I think many people's expectations were definitely not met, but I don't know if it was over-promise and under-deliver type situation. But I remember when many of us saw Dr. Sleep when it was coming out, we were very intrigued by the fact that we were going to be getting this. But again, the perspective is an over-promise, under-deliver situation, because I haven't come across too many people that have actually enjoyed Dr. Sleep. I find it about mid, a little bit above mid. It's not an absolute great film, but it's definitely not a horrible film. It's just one of those ones where it's with that particular story, it was just hard to, I think, find the audience that would have appreciated the story, especially for when it came out, when you think about The Shining. Soon audiences will show up in theaters to watch the critically acclaimed The Life of Chuck, a take on King's novella, which features a star-studded cast including Tom Hiddleston, Kate Siegel, Matthew Lillard, and more. Along with Carrie, Flanagan is also working to bring fans an on-screen version of The Dark Tower, which will break the lengthy story down into an episodic form, hopefully undoing the harm that had fans talking for all the wrong reasons back in 2017. And even The Dark Tower, that film wasn't... I think that's one of the films that you try to forget. And it's one of those films that unless it comes up in conversation, you just don't bring it up in conversation because it's that forgettable, unfortunately. Carrie through the years, we're not going to talk about this. I kind of already gave a breakdown. This probably does, just scanning this briefly, this does kind of touch on some of the things I've already talked about as far as the 2013 remake, the 2002 made-for-TV movie. So, so that's the end of the article. So we don't need to necessarily go through all that. So we are at a point where sounds like we're close to getting our leading actress to play Carrie in this TV adaptation. I am interested to find out, though, how many episodes this is going to be, and if Amazon will be doing a complete drop of the entire series on day one, or if this will be a once a week type situation. Now, I know depending upon the series, like for example, when they do like The Boys, they'll do typically 2 episodes on premiere week, and then it's 1 week. It's a 1 episode per week following through the rest of the season. But lately, like the Kevin Bacon series, the horror series that just dropped recently, they dropped all 8 episodes on day one. And maybe the reason they did that was because I noticed they're only 27 minute episodes. They're not that long of an episode. You would think they'd be a little bit longer. So interesting to see that. So they might be taking that approach. We'll have to wait and see. But I am interested on the episode count and obviously the time per episode. I'm hoping we get 10 episodes, maybe 8 with this one. Maybe there's just not enough story there, depending upon the approach he takes on how he's going to tell this story or this new version or this new take on the story. 8 episodes might be a plenty to tell this story, especially if you keep it at 47 minutes per episode, and that's with a filler episode around episode 4 or 5. So anyways, that's going to do it for this horror news update for the upcoming Amazon TV series Carrie, coming to us by Mike Flanagan. Drop a comment in the comments section. Let us know, are you a fan of the Carrie franchise? Are you looking forward to this new take on the character, on the story, and with it being a TV series? And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we will see you at the next one. Peace.